now, like I said at the onset of the show, I want to bring on a lady that's near and dear to Hollywood and the hood, near and dear to the city of Cleveland, and outwardly, doing big things for the children out there, an author of many children's books, you know what I mean? She has a not-for-profit organization. We want to bring her on board right now, Jowan Smith. That's me. What's up, Jowan? How you doing?
Hey.
You doing it. You're doing it.
Just trying to do my part.
Very busy. Very busy lady. Every time I see you, you always doing something.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, to be done in this city. So I'm just trying to, be the piece to the puzzle. I always ask people, what piece to the puzzle are you? So I'm always trying to make sure that I'm doing my part.
Yeah, well, where do you maintain the energy to do what you do?
I have no idea. It's just like anytime, I see a need. I always was told, growing up, don't complain about the problem, find a solution. That's right. And so whenever I see something and there's an issue, I'm all about trying to figure out what can I do, even if it's not me personally, who can I get to put in place to try and fix whatever the issue is. So I'm just always like, the kids motivate me. That's my gas.
Do you yourself come from a two-parent family home?
Not at all. Single parent household, grew up on Huff. Wow. Me and my mama and my two sisters.
Ah! It could have went the other way. It could have. Huff, Water World, you know what I'm saying? Water World, baby. It could have went the other way. Why come it ain't go Water World?
Yeah, not at all. It wasn't an option. My mother was very strict. Very strict. I didn't go past 93rd. I grew up like in between Ansel and 93rd, but my mom did not let us pass 93rd. I didn't go into Thurgood Marshall Rec Center until I was grown.
Okay, so single parent, your mom raised you. She had a lot of great people around to help her and stuff like that.
Yeah, I come from a very large family, very large family.
A lot of brothers and sisters?
No, cousins. So my cousins, my cousins are my siblings, my aunties, those are my
like brothers and sisters.
Yeah, so we just a very large family, and we grew up that way as siblings. So
are you still tight now?
Oh, 100%. 100%. We talk at least if not once a day, twice a day, all of us, and it's a lot of us.
Well, that's awesome. Do they support the things you're into?
100%. My family is always there. Most of my volunteers for my nonprofit events are my family members.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Hold on. I need y'all to fathom what she just said. Most of my family members are my supporters for my nonprofit organization event, meaning they ain't getting no money to show up.
Right.
They're not getting no money to show up. Let's get right into it, Jowan. Now, Ms. Smith, you're an author.
Yes.
You're author of several books?
Yes.
What kind of books? Are they nonfiction? Are they drama? Are they intergalactic space? I'm going to fly down and, we talking about COVID. Like, what kind of books?
Yeah, not at all. So I have 5 published titles. All of my books feature characters of color, and all of my books feature real-life situations. So I don't write about stuff our children don't see. I don't write about dinosaurs. I'm not writing about witches. I write about real-life stuff that they can connect to, stuff that they can look at the character and say, that could be me.
Yeah. Can you title drop some of them?
Oh, yeah. So my new release dropped on Black Friday. It's called Maya, Maya, Maya. And so I'm actually most proud of this book. This project came together during a real, hard time for me. I was dealing with some deaths. And so for me,
deaths
it was
in the
therapy.
Family?
Yes. So it was therapy for me. So I really, I'm glad I was able to pull it together, and it kind of helped me through the process of what I was going through. And then I have my bestseller, Grandma Hattie's Ice Cream, and that one was an
Grandma Hattie's?
Mm-hmm, Grandma Hattie's Ice Cream. So my Grandma Hattie, she used to make ice cream in the wood ice cream maker with the churner. And so I wrote a book about it. It teaches numbers and colors using scoops of ice cream, and that actually made Amazon Top 25 children's books.
Amazon Top 25 children's book. How real is that?
Yeah.
Hold on. When your book reached that status, first of all, how did you find out, and how did it make you feel?
Well, somebody actually sent me a screenshot, And so I thought they was like, you know how people be chopping and cutting, pasting.
You thought they kind of, yeah.
I thought they was just like trying to pump me up, like, girl, look at this.
Yeah.
But then when I Googled it.
Oh, so you went Google, like, let me
Googled
see if this real.
Yeah, and so it was like really a thing. And I was just like, because when I wrote my first book, I never intended to write books. I was taking notes. I took my kids on a college visit, and so I was taking notes about I took my grandson. And so what he saw and what he experienced, I was taking those notes. And I met Margaret Bernstein from Channel 3. And so we were talking.
And the Plain Dealer.
Yeah.
Margaret was on the show before.
I love her. And so she's like, you ever wrote a book? And I'm like, I don't write books. You know, I just help kids. And so she was like, have you ever journaled? And so, well, I took some notes when I went and took my grandson on this college visit. And she's like, it's a book. And I'm like, Margaret, it's not a book. And 6 months later, Margaret helped me put the book together. She edited it and released my first book.
How real is that? Hold on, let me shout out Margaret. Let me take the time. If y'all don't know about Margaret Bernstein, she had won the National Association of Black Journalism Award. She had just got back from Chicago, just got off the tarmac, and came right here on the Player T show and talk about it. You know, and she was like, hey, Player T, I don't know if you heard, but the Plain Dealer was thinking about folding some of his print operations, and some of my colleagues are looking to do what you're already doing. You know, so big shout out to Margaret. She's very influential in the community. She's the top writer at the Plain Dealer. She's at Channel 3 now. So, wow, that's amazing to have a resource like that get behind you and push you.
Yeah, I mean, she has Emmys, like she has major awards. So for her to be the editor of my first book was, for me, life-changing. It was a humbling experience because I'm like, who am I for Margaret to believe and support in me? And it just kind of blossomed from there.
Let me ask you a real question, Jowan. Yeah, I got you on the first one, but hey, I'm Margaret. You know, I just won the BJ Award. I got an email. You know what I'm saying? Was it anything like that? Like
not at all. She's my mentor now. So
she's your mentor now.
We locked in. We locked in. So
in.
every book that I do, I send to her before. She looks through it. Like she sent me the last one. She sent me a card. She's like, "Oh my goodness, you are a rock star." Like it's phenomenal.
Now you told me candidly, behind the scene, you said your books are in schools and libraries?
Yes, you can get my book at any Cleveland Public Library, Cuyahoga Library, Akron, Lorraine, Elyria, and in Atlanta.
Was she or anybody were responsible for that?
Oh, no, that's all me.
Oh, you good. I'm a hustler, baby.
That's all me.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I got connection and everything, T. You know what I'm saying? But I got this right here. Don't worry about that. You know, okay. All right.
Me. So my background is in media. I worked in TV and radio. So I'm familiar with, public relations and the media blast and, being able to get in front of people. So I've been able to shop the book so much. It's kind of just growing on its own for real now.
What's some of the feedback like from school administrators, librarians, and of that nature? What's some of their feedback? Have they even hit you back with feedback to your book?
So they love the book. The parents love the books because I don't baby my words. So I use
Goo Gaga.
Yeah, it's
the
none
cat
of that.
in the hat went up and grabbed the bat and hit the rat.
None of that. I use real words. We talking about scholarships and we use real words. And so that's one of the biggest feedbacks that I get from the parents and from the different organizations that purchase my book is that we're talking to them and we're starting a dialogue early. And that's kind of the opposite of what a lot of people do. They try and minimize the words. But if I can put a big word in there, I'm going to put it in there because you're going to figure out how to sound this word out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's dope. That's that you have the wherewithal to do that and have the courage to do that, So was there ever any apprehension to your books? You say you use people of our original likeness, so you use the word color. Have you felt any apprehension to your works?
Not at all. It's actually getting me in more doors.
We tired of the same stereotypes. Yeah. We want to invite the dark peoples in and talk about your lives and put it illustrated in the books and stuff like that.
It's actually because so many people now are pushing diversity and equity and inclusion.
Yeah.
So now a lot of schools are like, hey, we need these books. with children and people of color. So it's opening more doors. And then each one of my books in the end is some sort of resource. So it's teaching you something. So the most recent book with Maya, where she gets out of the baby gate, in the back of the book, it has safety tools and resources for parents. So each one of my books has some sort of resource in the back of them.
Yeah. How real is that? How real is that? Now, you're an author, but you're also a philanthropist.
Yeah.
I can get somebody a couple dollars and call myself a philanthropist too. What do you mean by a philanthropist? What do you do in the way of philanthropy that allows you to be a philanthropist?
So I consider myself a boots on the ground person. So many people on social media, oh, I'm in the community, I'm doing this, I'm giving this out, No, I'm out here, I'm in the streets, I'm in the buildings, I'm in the schools, I'm in front of the kids. I'm currently in one district alone, and I have my 1,000 Ties boys. I have 120 boys that I work with every week. And so
120 boys?
120 in one school. That's just one school. So for me, it's about being that in front of them, giving them, a lot of them call me auntie, so giving them that love, that vibe, and pouring into them. For me, it means more for me to be able to be out there and do it, because you don't see a lot of women, especially working with the young men.
Well, what are you giving them outside of school administrators, outside of school counselors? Like, I can go to the school counselor, they say I can. Those of you still in school. You can go to your school counselor and talk about your issues and problems, but it's a little different with you, and you got 1,000 ties. So how are you addressing these issues?
It's real life. I don't sugarcoat anything. I talk to my boys just like I talk to my son. And so whether we're talking about how to change a tire, or how to make a meal, or how to act when you go on a date, or how you're supposed to dress, or about your hygiene, or how you're interacting with your mother, whatever that is, I'm going to talk to you how I would talk to my son. And so what the problem with a lot of people is they try to baby these boys, and these are grown men almost, so you cannot continue to baby them because we're harming them, we're not helping them. So my goal is to help them learn how to grow into being that man. And whatever tools that I can teach them, I'm doing it.
So you open that floodgate through the use of getting young men ties and stuff?
Yeah, so
that's how it started out. Tell me how it started out.
So initially, I saw my son teach himself how to tie a tie on YouTube.
You seen your son teaching himself how to tie a tie on YouTube?
Yeah, and it bothered me because as moms, especially as single moms, we think we superhuman. So we are supposed to be able to teach our kids everything. So for me, watching him do that, now I'm looking like, okay, what else has he had to learn online or from somebody that probably wasn't teaching him right? And so I started watching him and his friends. And so they don't shake hands. They do like the little bro dap. Like they're not communicating. They're sitting next to each other, but they're texting each other. Like there's so many different things. I tell people this story. I took my son to homecoming, him and his date. And so he got out and he went around, he opened the door. And all of her friends pulled their phones out and started recording. And I was so shocked because I'm like, why are y'all recording? This should be an expectation, but they don't know it. And so for me, I said, you know what? Somebody has to help our boys. So I thought if we just get a way to start the conversation, and I thought we could do that with a tie. So I said, well, let me see if the community will donate me some ties so I don't have to go buy them.
Right.
And so I said, let me see if I can collect 1,000 ties. The first year we collected 5,000 ties. And those were all donations from the city, people from all walks of life, because they wanted to be a part of the movement. Even if they couldn't directly help somebody, giving that tie could help us to be able to connect with one of the young men.
Wow, what you know about that? I got to ask you, Miss Smith, you said your son, how old is your son?
He's 21 now.
Okay, at the time, because you've been doing this for a few years. So how did he feel, mom branching out from me? Now it's 120 more of me, and now mom she's spreading herself out. Did it affect him adversely in the beginning? Was he down with it? Did he push you? How did he respond?
He on the front line with me.
Ah!
So my son, he's out teaching ties. He taught me. He's actually, yeah, he had to teach me.
Okay. Yeah, Mom, check this out. I got it now.
Yeah, he taught me so that I could, when we go out, instead of always having to push him to the front, I wanted to be able to do it too.
Now, Jowan, you also have Getting Our Babies to College. And you say that is a for-profit business, right?
Yes, it is.
So tell me about that.
So I started getting our babies to college when my daughter was in high school. So she wanted to go to college, but one of her teachers told her because she had an IEP that she just need to get ready for the workforce. And for her,
She had an IEP.
yeah, so it's she has dyslexia. So she had to have like learning amendments so that she could, get through school. And so they told her pretty much don't think about college, you're not going to college, just get ready to go work at McDonald's or something. It's pretty much how it came across. And so for her, she was like, you can't tell me what I can't do. Yeah. And so we got into our research mode, and I started looking into these colleges. She played sports. So I said, well, let's use this sport, to try and get you to school.
What sport she was?
She played volleyball. She's a lefty, so she played volleyball and baseball. So she was pretty cold. She played for East Tech.
East Tech? Hold on. Who she played for, Jowan?
She played for Tech, for the Scarabs.
The Scarabs. Down the way. What's up, y'all?
Yeah, so she was down there, and what I found out, like, a lot of the scouts would be like, yeah, we're not coming there. And I'm like, what you mean?
Yeah, you can't get pizza down there, so definitely ain't no scouts coming down there.
Like, what you mean? So I knew she had talent, so I started to do research and learn how I could get this money so she could go to school. And other parents that were kind of in the same position, like their kids weren't the highest achievers, so the school wasn't throwing scholarship dollars at them. So I started to help other parents to understand how to find scholarship dollars and get their kids to college so that it's not a big financial burden on a household. And then I got into this pitch competition with Cleveland Leadership Center, and I pitched my idea of a parent helping other parents to help their kids get ready for college, and I won. And so I used that money to put together a curriculum, and the CEO of the school district called me that next week, and I had a contract. I had a contract before I had a business.
Wow. So you're maintaining those contracts right now?
Yes.
Wow. And so and the other party is obligated to do what?
So what we have it set up for is our goal is to empower parents. That's my whole platform with that. Because the school they're working with the kids, but the parents are kind of left out. So they bring me in to be able to help their parents either fill out the FAFSA, help them understand how to fill out scholarships, even if they're not going to go to college. What's the plan? We have to figure out something. I call it an ICP, an individual college plan, because each kid is different. So what does the path look like for your child? We can't wait till 12th grade, and by 12th grade, it's too late. You haven't looked at anything. You haven't saved any money. You haven't, figured out what it is your kid's passionate about.
What do you say to people who are not so inclined about sending their children to college? They feel they may be good in whatever field they endeavor in, and they feel like they want their children to follow suit, just like Ford, just like just like the major heavy hitters. They scuttle their children into the family business. Mm-hmm. What do you say to people like that?
So I'm very blunt with my parents, just like I am with my boys. And I pretty much tell the parents, just sit back, because it's not about you. You've decided what you want to do, but we have to help our children to be able to figure out what their passions are. We can't keep pushing them in a certain direction, and then you waste time and money, and they had a passion for something else, and you were so focused on one thing, now they're over here and they're miserable, because they have to live their life. So I try to get parents to understand you have to help your child figure out what their passion is, so that they can make the decision early instead of going 4 years, getting all them student loans, and now they miserable and they got to start all over. Because we all know people that done went to college for 4 years, spent all that money, got all them loans, old Sally Mae, and they miserable.
Yeah. Now you've got an event coming up supporting what?
It's the 1,000 Ties event. So this is our 4th year. So we have it at Warrensville, and then the event is for young men 6 to 21 and their families. So it's a whole day of activities. We do workshops. We have a workshop for the moms. We have a nice meal that's catered by Floods. This year we're adding a charity basketball game. And so it's a day of community for our young men. The event is 100% free. This year we'll have 5 employers on site, so the youth can come in and apply for jobs. We have one employer, they start at $17 an hour. So at you 16, come get this job for 17 and go ahead and start stacking your money up. So we're trying to encourage our young people, come out. Even if you're not really interested in the event, come talk to these employers. Get you a job.
So when and where is the
So the
event?
event is next Saturday, February 18th. Doors open at 9 o'clock. It'll be at Warrensville Heights Elementary School, and we'll be there all day. The game starts at 1. So you participate in the workshops and the resources and the vendors, and then at 1 o'clock we have a charity basketball game. We have the food bank. They'll be giving out food boxes. So it's just a lot of free stuff. It's a good day. Come out, be a part of the community, learn how to tie some ties, connect with some potential mentors. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Well, I know you got to go, Joanna, and I like to help people that watch this show, give them some real things they hang their hats on. You know, for the listening and the viewers out there that's tuning to what you got going on, give some words of encouragement to the youth and what you expect from people in kind that you'll love to work with.
I would like to implore our community, especially the men, step up. We can't keep complaining about what these young people are doing if you cannot be a part of the solution. It does not take a lot of time to invest in the young people, and I'm not saying put money in their pocket. Give them an hour a week. An hour a week. That could be, you know, spend some time with them, teach them a trade, spend some time and pour into them. We cannot keep complaining about what they're doing in the streets if we're not helping to create solutions.
Ain't that real talk right there? Well, we appreciate you and good luck with your event.
Thank
You know, if you need somebody in that charity basketball game, I could do the 2 or the 1. You know what I mean? Get a steal, dribble down the court, hit a shot. You know what I mean? But we appreciate you so much and good luck. Yeah, Player T, that's me. We're going to take a break and we're going to be back with Jazz BIFEC. Player T, that's me.